afternoon, good evening. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are here for a really, really special episode of the Square podcast. I'm super excited. I'll not get into the details. I'll just go straight into the introduction because, again, excitement. But today I am with a great guest. She's someone who I've admired for a bit, and I choose this word very carefully. I'm inspired by the way she works and how she works and the things that she does for work. Right. So I'm with immaculate Adesuwa Giwa-Osagie, and she's the founder of Blue Daisy Media, Untold Stories with Adesuwa, as well as a news anchor for one of the most prominent broadcasting media companies in Nigeria. I don't know, you might have heard about it, right? I'm not too sure. They might have, I think. She's well versed in history and political science. She's a fully qualified barrister and solicitor of Nigeria, and she just has a burning love for her country. Like go on and on. But I think we should sort of jump in to the episode. So hi Adesuwa, how are you? How are you doing? This is obviously the first time we're speaking. We did not try to do this earlier today. This is the first cut, right? So how are you doing, Adesuwa? How was your day? How was your week? What's up? What's been going on?
Surviving the Tinubu administration. I'm surviving rainy season in Lagos. I am surviving Naira downsliding. I'm out here surviving. I think I'm on band A, so I'm also out here surviving AKDC.
Band A baddie.
No, the baddie part does not apply to the bill. You see?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm surviving. I can't complain. No, I can, but I shall not.
Exactly. We want to be as positive as possible.
Right? Yeah.
Be as positive as possible. I'm excited. So many things are happening in Nigeria. I promise after my birthday, I promise that look, this year I want to be as positive as possible. My mom told me, Ayodeji, you need to stop complaining. You need to embrace it because you chose this life. She's very like, look, this is what you said you wanted, to embrace it.
What did you say you wanted? Nigeria?
Yes, and I'm second guessing. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Maybe we'll get into it, maybe not. I don't know. But let's just jump into the first segment, which is the Central Square. Okay, you guys, we're back again. Central Square segment. Adesuwa, are you good to go?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, good. So very first sort of article, this is coming from Channels. Labour vows to reject 100,000 Naira, in quotes, starvation wage. Right? Organized Labour says it won't accept any 62,000 Naira or 100,000 Naira starvation wage as the new minimum wage for Nigerian workers. Adesuwa, do you just want to jump into that really quickly?
Our national minimum wage crisis has been brewing because everybody knew, or at least not even everybody, but the federal government knew that the minimum wage that was going to expire on a certain day. And they did nothing to prepare for that expiration. And so now, obviously, the unions have come and they've said we can't survive on the money we're currently being paid.
Apparently,
food inflation is too high. Monetary inflation is high, and you just have to be fair to them also. If they tell you that your wage is going to be 100K for the next 5 years,
just a pass.
Let's say let's just say that's what they agree upon.
Yeah.
What is 100K going to be worth in 2029?
We are praying for renewed hope. We are praying that it would mean something.
Okay. But if it is not, if the Naira is going as it has been going, right? Because even if we look at it, even 60K today is worth less than 30K in 2015, right? Wow. So even this saying that, they're increasing it to 100% nominal value, the actual value of what you can purchase with that is less. 2016, I believe a bag of rice was like 18K. Now it's like 80, right? So even on that 30K, you could buy rice. On 60K, you cannot. So then when they're fighting back and they're calling it starvation wage, I understand. Somebody sent a picture of a can of needle milk. And they're like, look at minimum wage in a can.
The big one. No, it was the big one though. Come on. It was the big one.
And then Basket of tomato is over 100K now.
Yeah, the big basket. Yeah,
Okay, so even if on a very minute level, it's just like unless you're saying that everybody who is working doesn't have a family, is only feeding themselves, doesn't
good,
have to pay rent.
good.
If we're saying that, then they are actually right to say it is starvation wages. I was talking to someone about this and I was like, it's no longer a joke when MSF is saying that you have children dying of malnutrition up to 100% higher than they were last year.
Yeah,
Not in the good old days, just last year, there's some areas where up to 100% more children are dying as at this time last year. That's a lot. Like it's not hunger is not like it's not now the African kid you see on TV or something,
definitely.
or it's us. This Nigeria. This is a reality. People are actually starving. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it. I don't have any political comments to make about the leaders
Please
of the
don't. Please,
unions
Adesuwa, please don't.
or the
I'm begging
leaders
you.
of our political class or our
Hey,
governors
hey,
who come out
hey,
to say they
hey.
can't pay the
Adesuwa, yo.
wage.
Adesuwa, yo. All
But
I'm saying is one guy came outside. He can't afford to pay his 4 drivers. What is he going to do? He
the
can't
one
pay his
guy,
drivers.
let's name the one guy. The one guy is the SGF of the Federation, Akume, who was a governor from 1999 to 2007, who was a
Secretary.
senator after that, and he's now secretary of the federal government of Nigeria.
Definitely.
First of all, you're not paying your drivers out of pockets. If you are, I would love to see it, but I don't think
Mm,
you are. Second of all, if you are, maybe you're not supposed to have 4 drivers. But
definitely.
again, it would be very, very difficult for me to believe that a two-time governor, a senator, and a current member of this administration
Definitely.
cannot pay. Because what you this is what Labour said. They said that you guys will not give your girlfriend 6K to go and do her hair.
No, you won't. You won't. You can't. You won't do it. You just can't. Because and you want to talk about nails. You just can't. You
If
can't.
Akume goes for dinner now in Transcorp, is he telling me that it's 60K he used to eat?
But he's not the one paying for it now. You get
If he goes today to go and eat dinner tonight,
his own personal dinner. That's
his
a
own
different.
personal dinner in Abuja, is it 60K he's going to use to pay for it?
Adesuwa, please. They will accuse you of being a prophet of doom. I, on the other hand, I'm here to flip the coin to the other side. Right? We
I dare you,
definitely.
try your best.
We just need to think about things critically, right?
Mm.
If you look at quarter on quarter GDP growth, we seem to be trending upwards, right? Like Q1 was looking good. We're moving, we're trending. As
I'm
Adesuwa
a
was trying to
personal
allude to
fan
us.
of Cardoso. Cardi B, Machoba. I see our CBN governor, Mr. Yemi Cardoso. If he has no more
Yeah,
fans, that means I'm dead and buried. I'm in the afterlife. I'm his fan. For now, Sha, until he does
really.
anything funny, I'm a super
Oh
fan.
my,
I'm a stan, in fact.
really.
I'm standing Cardi B. Yes.
The question I just have is why is he always in the news? I just don't
Because
get
he
it.
has enemies. Because
He
he
has
has
enemies that put him in the
enemies.
news.
Yes. Let me give you an
Oh,
example. A very good example was the cybercrime levy. The
yeah,
cybercrime levy came through the Cybercrimes Amendment Act, which came from the executive. It came from the presidency. They took it to the National Assembly. In the National Assembly, they voted for that cybercrimes levy. The levy, that 0.05% or 5%,
yeah.
whatever, that
That we're
levy was
crying about,
supposed,
definitely.
yes, that levy was going to an account controlled by the NSA, i.e. Ribadu. Current NSA is Ribadu. That account was not domiciled within the CBN. That account was straight. The levy was going straight from the levy to the National Security Advisor.
And yes, we
CBN
all
had
pinned it on the
nothing.
CBN.
CBN had nothing to do with it. CBN, there's a law that is passed. After the law is passed, it comes into act whatever, and CBN sends out a circular, as they do, as the governing body. There's a new law. You guys, this is what the law says, and this is where you send the money. Everybody now, and I always tell people these things, like be very wary when they personalize something. Why is instead of People's Gazette or Sahara, or let me not name names, but
Please don't name names.
why are media houses running with his face? They put Yemi Cardoso's face and they put cybercrime levy as the headline. For us, is intentional. It's not. It's political. After that, Senate is coming saying they want to take away some of the powers of the CBN governor. Why?
Adesuwa, these are very thought-provoking questions, and I just think that any sort of information people need to take in these days, just sort of think back, sit back, and just sort of think critically about it, because things may not always be as they seem. Adesuwa has sort of shed light on a couple of things, even previous to this sort of conversation we're talking about, just sort of how things may appear in terms of government, and I think we all definitely have a duty to, go and verify the sources and perhaps ensure that
one thing I will say,
yeah,
one thing I will say to anybody listening to this, there's a lot of people failing us in government, and there's a lot of people we need to go to account. But your number
definitely.
one up is most likely your rep, your senator, or the person that's representing your House of Reps. That's the guy you need to face.
I don't even know who's the senator of Lagos. Where are we east?
So for me, Etiosa it's Atta. Thaddeus Atta is my
I know
member
him.
in
Great
the
guy.
House of Reps.
Yeah.
Great in which way?
No, I've met him before. So I mean, he's a great guy.
Okay, now I meant as
Yeah.
a legislator. I was
Oh,
wondering if there was any.
I have
I
no
was wondering if
idea.
I'd missed anything.
No, I mean, I saw him doing something with Transformers towards that west side and some things of that nature. But apart from that, I haven't seen my brother anywhere.
Why is a legislator giving you transformer? Is another question you should ask.
Transformer wasn't for me. It was from some people over there. But like I said,
I'm saying that's a question we should ask ourselves. Why does a member of House of Reps giving you transformer? Is he writing any bills? Is he checking your bills? Is he moving motions? Is he passing laws to protect you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Oh my gosh, something. Anyways, like I said, I just don't. I wish I could, but I don't want to. But I will just mention it for completeness. I saw there was a little bit of murmur about a single term 6-year bill. I'm not bringing it up for you to discuss. Just something I saw this week that was really, really interesting. I'm trying to find out more about it because when I read about it, my eyes sort of gleamed out. I'm like, this would be great. However, it depends on how it comes together and when they sort it out. But it feels great.
First term is usually to show you're working. Second term is where the looting really kicks up second gear. If they only have one term, what Nigerian politician do you know is going to work for legacy instead of work for his pockets?
Adesuwa, please, I just need like
that's
one.
That's actually a legitimate question.
I just need, like I said,
if he knows that he has immunity, he's here one time. He does not have to show you walking. Once he enters, he's there till he's out.
So my people on my socials have accused me of being a harbinger of bad news.
I'm a harbinger of good news. The good news is that a lot of the bills that we are seeing spoken about now, it shows a good thing in that people are paying attention to the bills that are going through the National Assembly.
Yes,
the other thing you have to consider is a lot of the bills are not even written. So you and I can write a bill now and send it into National Assembly. And if a news organization picks that up as something that's being seriously considered, it might just be like, it might not necessarily be something that is being seriously considered.
There might not be much traction behind it.
Yeah, it can be a citizen bill. It can just be a random bill that would die in first reading. I tend to not put too much weight on these things. It's like when earlier in the year they said they want to switch to parliamentary system. I tend to not put on too much weight to things until
first reading.
They enter. After first reading, maybe second reading, maybe
second reading. Okay.
Maybe if there's like some politicking going on behind the scenes. I mean, that's how the National Assembly. That's how they chant the national anthem. Before I could blink.
Hey, listen again. Like I said, we don't want to push that one too far.
That's a good, what it shows that we can do it. We are capable of moving bills fast. So
I mean, for me, it really, really speaks to interest levels, if you ask me. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, you guys, we're back again for the guest questions, right? I'm here with the lovely Adesuwa. Liz, how are you feeling?
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take it. So, you guys, before I cooked up this episode, I sat back and I said, if I was Adesuwa, if I was a listener, what would I want to know about Adesuwa that perhaps I may not already know, that perhaps is not within the public forum, that perhaps I need to do some digging to get. But anyways,
so these are the questions.
Right. So again, it's just so much
questions.
to just burning. I mean, these are my burning because it's stuff that I would love to have known, or I would love to know. And even when I was doing this, I was thinking about, because again, like I said, I like the way you work and I like the way you put things out in a very, very well articulated stance. And I love how like you vex when people accuse you of not knowing what you're talking about. I love it. The energy and the show of walking is again amazing. Right. You must always show walking.
You're flattering me, but thank you.
Don't worry. But anyways, like I said, but like, so I'm really, really keen. So I guess first thing is your educational background is interesting. I don't understand this because you started here, went over there, came back. Now you're in Nigeria. Right. So, and I guess the first question is, you already had an undergraduate degree. Why did you get a second one, and why law? Or was it just so much that your parents are in law and it's like, hey?
Well, so I come from a family of lawyers.
Big time.
My younger brother is a lawyer. My dad is a lawyer. My uncles are lawyers. My aunties are lawyers. My aunt last week, I was at my aunt's reception. No. She just became a high court judge, justice of the high court. So that's what we were doing. And even there were other justices. I was like, they're my uncles. Like, that's what my family, I would say a large number of my family are lawyers, law professors, etc. So when I decided I was going to study history, my dad was like, excuse me, I'm paying in dollars.
Right? But that year, it wasn't too bad. That year wasn't too bad.
No, but my dad made it out the trenches and he went to Uniben and he's like, I managed to get you all the way here. And I thought we were going to do something sensible. And I went in like, I was doing econ. I was very nerdy. And I did like
you went to Seven Oaks, right?
Yes, I did econ. I did high level math. I was like super mathy and nerdy. I did add math for IGCSE. And then I went in Seven Oaks. I started discovering philosophy. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I go to college and the idea is that I'm still going to go and do economics and maybe add politics or philosophy to it. So
okay, I think I'll try to do
PPE.
Yeah. Okay.
But Duke only has PPE as a certificate.
Wait. You just, again, and we're not going to gloss off that. For those that don't know, Seven Oaks is in the UK, right? Top IB college in the UK. How did that translate? And that's why I said you were here and you went there and you came back.
How did it translate to me going to America?
Yes. And I was again, motivations.
Okay. I was born in America. My mom went to college there and she always wanted her daughter to go there because she thought it was going to be the best thing. Okay. But I was quite, and that's part of why I did IB. It's so that I would apply to America.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So it was at the back of my mind, and I was like,
so you kind of had it all figured out in your mind, like this is sort of the path you wanted to take, or you had a rough idea.
I had a rough idea. But I go to college and I take a random history class, and I'm like, I love this. Mind you, I did not do history since maybe year 9. Good. Or year 8. Like I didn't do history at GCSEs. Like I did not do history anything. I don't even think that was history because I was in the Nigerian system for 2 years. I don't think we even had history at all. So like I did history maybe 1 year post primary school. And I go to university and I love it. But I was doing, what's that thing called? ITK. Or what in some ways we used to call it like a NEET, like theory
of knowledge, right?
TK? No. ITK, like I too know. So I was doing everything.
I thought you were saying something.
No. I was doing too much. So when my dad was like, I don't know what you do with a history degree, I decided to do a double major and PPE. So I still got the PPE certificate, and then I got a BA in political science,
Good.
which requires extra than just like politics. And then I got a BA in history. And I came back to Nigeria, and my dad was like, okay, so you've done the history. What are you going to do? And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was like, let me go and do law. Cause
Wait. First, calm down. First, and again, and for those that sort of are not sort of following this perhaps quite closely, it was a thing of what makes sense at the most at every point in time. And in my opinion, you decided to follow the path of the most resistance by, in terms of your choice of degree and how you wanted to put it together and for the sort of certification that you wanted. Because the beautiful thing about studying in America is you can kind of tailor your degree to the way you want it. There's a lot of flexibility with your course. I know that going to do top school. I know someone that's going there for a master's degree. I'm recently shout out to her. It's just really, really great like that. So I liked how the university enabled you to, have a play around with the things they wanted to do, and then sort of still give that flexibility to come out with multiple levels of certification. And then you came back to Nige, said, "Okay, Dad, I'm done." And then he's like, "Okay, what now?" Yeah, like, you know what? Let me not fight against the current. I'm just gonna follow my lineage.
It wasn't that strong a current. Like I genuinely didn't know what I was going to do. Like I came back and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like working in marketing was chill, but it was not like passion-y. So I went back. I did law. My brother at that time was like my younger brother was graduating with his own law degree. So my brother is like my senior at the. He's my senior at the bar.
He was called to bar earlier, essentially.
Yeah, and everybody thinks it's such a funny joke. All my aunts and uncles are like, "He's your senior." I'm like,
I mean, from what I was told, when you're called to bar is a really big deal because the seniority system in Nigeria is quite
what else
entrenched.
Is big? You know what else is a big deal? Being born before him in the same house. I think that also deserves its own respect. But yeah,
I think it does, but how Nigeria is, so you know.
That's how I ended up doing law, and that's how I ended up coming back to Nigeria.
Okay, good. So you did the undergraduate, you did LLB in the UK, you finished, you came back to do Nigerian law school, you did your bar 1, you said I want more, you did bar 2, you got called to bar. Good. Now, why on earth did you say, you know what, the next thing for me to do is to sit here in this country and to find my path, right? How did you sort of come to that conclusion? Sorry?
I said heartbreak.
Oh my God. Do you want to delve into that a bit, or you're just sort of dropping that as like
to just be an academic? I dated a scout.
Oh my God.
It was very interesting. No. The reason I stayed, I was always going to stay. Like there was no option for me for going back. I did not enjoy the abroad in that way. Like, I love London. I think my life in London was quite beautiful.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
My life here just felt like more fulfilling. It just felt like this is where I should be, and this is where I wanted to be. And I've always been very like optimistic or childish, and like I want to make a difference or I want to have impact, and it just made more sense for me to be here. And I also went to school in America in a very racially intense space. I mean, it's still intense now, but I think it's
what
that
state is Duke in?
North Carolina. It's in the South, baby. Duke is in the South, and I was at Duke during Black Lives Matter, during the rise of Trump and the Tea Party. The resurgence of the right in opposition to Obama. That's like the era I was at Duke, and then I went to England, and I was in England during like
Brexit.
Brexit. Brexit means Brexit. So all of these things were like, I don't want any
the West. The West is not for me. So from one place to the other, you were in very. So you're sort of.
I went through the whole racial, xenophobic eras, but also I think for me,
you lived it.
yes and no, like, because also I'm in a privileged bubble being at Duke, but I did live it. Someone hung a noose up on campus, so I did live it. We had, it wasn't too far removed. Someone
Jesus.
hung a noose on a tree on campus when I
This
was
is
a senior.
crazy.
So, you had white only parties. There was a lot going on. But I would say that I was also homesick the whole time I was away. I'm like very
Wow.
close to my family, and so being
I
away from
love that.
family for that long and also being like culturally separated, like none of my close friends went to school in America apart from one. But we lived such different lives because she was in the northeast, I was in the south. Like I felt very isolated in my experiences.
I saw New York. She was in New York.
Yeah, so she was upstate New York, Syracuse.
Mm.
So she was upstate New York, but our experiences were so different.
Yeah.
And I just felt so like, God, like these people don't understand me. Then people who understand me don't understand this. Like, I had to run home. But yeah.
It's a lot to explain. So you lived through quite interesting times. You come back, you do law school, bar one, bar two, you're done, and you're like, you know what? I love my country. I love my family. I am staying.
Yeah.
As this brother said in Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not fucking leaving. Right.
Yes.
So that happened, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to jump into the workforce. I'm going to follow the system. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to
Mm.
work in a law firm. Good. Why did that not work out?
Poverty wages.
It's the sigh for me. It's the sigh for me.
First, the money didn't make sense. But also, I think
Yikes.
it was COVID. My friends and I have a group chat with some of my best friends, and we were talking recently. And I mean, TMT from Submaruch.
I know
Yes.
TMT.
TMT is one of my best friends. And we were talking, and we have this little group chat with like 4 or 5 of us. And he was like, imagine if COVID didn't happen, like I'll still just be a lawyer. And I was like, guy, me too. Like there were times where TMT and I would just see each other in traffic or I'll be in my car, he'll be in his car, we'll just look at each other like through the window, like what's going on? We worked for law firms at one point in time in
Yeah.
Marina that were on the same street, and we were going through it like he was already a lawyer. I was like doing internship or externship or whatever. And
Yeah. The one year
we were
after the
just yeah, we were just suffering. Like we were just suffering. And then COVID happens. And I think what COVID did was, first of all, I started a cocktail company called Tipsy Treats. And
fun.
I made a bag. And I made a bag that I was like, I'm not making this bag in law. So
No.
even if my parents are gonna be like, you can't leave law, this bag can hold me until I figure out what I'm going to do. That's what I was
Definitely.
thinking. I was
Okay.
just like, you know what? Because also you have to think like at that point in time, I think my salary was like 180K. There was one time I got into a whole like one tire bust. They say you have to replace 4 tires. To replace the 4 tires would have been more than my salary. I was just there crying,
What kind of
crying on
hole
the
is that?
road. I like no, but apparently I don't even know, bro. But I literally at that point in time, I was just like, this isn't working. And
Definitely.
because of COVID, I couldn't change teams because normally the firm I was working at, you're technically supposed to change teams, but because everybody was work from home and things just became like static, I was stuck doing capital markets law for over a year, and
Wow.
like I don't give that many F's about mergers and acquisitions and
You can
bond
swear it's literally
issuances.
fine. You couldn't give a toss
Okay. I
about
could not like it felt so draining and I felt like I wasn't doing my best work. And like one thing about me, I need to be doing something that's also why I quit my cocktail company. Like I'm making money, but I'm also just my head is off. Like I felt like I was getting dumber every day. My
That's
life was
crazy.
just monotonous. I was getting dumber and I also was not making money.
The brain cells were hooking. That's mad.
My brain cells were hooking. There was no bar. There was no sense of like my favorite people at the firm were not the people on my team. They're the people who I would see when I went to the office. So when I stopped seeing them, I was
It
like,
just
wow,
became really difficult.
it's
Yeah.
like, this is hard, bro.
Yeah.
And quite a few of them also left. So I've also just felt like reaffirmed in my decision to just
To
take a
leave.
bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And I
you know
guess
what?
even in terms
Time
of
to
like
leave.
the work itself, like how was like the culture? Because I know that law firms have a notorious reputation of a very, very difficult
So I would say that like it really depends.
atmosphere.
Like I've worked in like 3 law firms maybe or 4 at this point. Like since I was like a teenager, I've just been doing internship, summer, they just throw me one law firm or the other. I think it really depends, and I think it can be a personality thing.
Yeah.
My firm, I would say that my firm was supportive. Like the senior partners were supportive. I didn't necessarily enjoy my team partner,
Okay.
like a partner in charge of my team. His
Yeah.
work style and mine just did not mesh per se.
I like how you said
Um,
that. That's a very PC way to say that. I love that. I would never
yeah.
say it like that, but
So,
that's nice.
and I also felt like he didn't necessarily take me seriously,
Why though?
which is normal. There's just this idea of privileged kid,
Oh, break my
or you're
heart.
just biding your time before you go somewhere else. I felt that not from people, just from that particular person, just to
That's good.
clarify.
That's
So
good.
it wasn't, I didn't feel like my team definitely didn't think I was an idiot. They definitely didn't think I wasn't working. They definitely didn't, like my team will add me onto transactions that
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
not put me on. So
yeah.
it made me know that, okay, that means I'm not a dodo. And that also means I'm not letting them down. It just means that this guy doesn't rate me.
I
Because it
think
can be like a transaction and like your partner delegates, right?
definitely.
He'll put me on like the dumbest shit.
Definitely.
Like,
I think that when you get to a place where you start to question what you know, that's when perhaps you see that you're closer to the exit than you are
you,
to when you came in. And I guess, and this is perhaps an issue when you migrate back to Nigeria. Everybody feels as though whenever you work somewhere that perhaps your privilege isn't apparent, you are making use of it as a sort of a rest stop or a pit stop, right? Like even in my
yeah.
workplace, I've been accused of
Oh,
I've accused of being a flight that I'm just trying to just get the most out of the opportunity and then just
yeah.
leverage and then
Yeah.
find a
Leverage
way
it for
to
something
the
else.
next thing.
Yeah. And like the thing is like when you're privileged, you can't complain about being privileged, right? You
No,
can
you
be like,
cannot.
ah.
No, you
But
cannot.
at the same time, like when I spent my whole life being a nerd, literally, like my my whole identity was being a nerd, and then somebody just treats you like you're a dud, and it's also like, did you see my scores? Like I can show you, like. I work hard in law school. I work hard in school. Like I'm not an idiot. And
Definitely.
somebody treats you like you're an idiot. And like my partner more than once called me a princess, like to me and to somebody else. Is the princess in?
That is anyways, like I said, we're not gonna dive too much into it because anybody can
Yeah,
do the
let's
walking
go.
and pick up
Yeah.
on who it is. But that
No,
is
no, 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 no,
definitely
no. It was a good. Honestly, I have no bad things to say about the firm, my coworkers. I still talk to, especially the people in my NYC class. Some of my people on my team, like
yeah,
now work for Amazon. I think one went to Duke, one is at Harvard. Brilliant young
people,
lawyers. All
right?
left the country. I'm still here, in fact, but
I mean,
most of them
hey,
have left. I think I realized everyone I'm talking about has jackpot. Brilliant lawyers. They've all left the country, which is a
yeah,
huge problem we have in Nigeria. Our smartest are leaving. Okay.
there is a apparent brain drain, but maybe on another time we might discuss that. So I guess I'm still trying to sort of put the timelines to get together, right?
Mm,
So you left law unofficially, right? And then
yes.
how did sort of Untold Stories and then Blue Daisy come about? Because that everything just sort of, at least like I said, the timeline isn't apparent to me. So can you sort of let me know how that sort of came out from your mind that I want to
So,
get into this space in this particular
okay.
way?
2020 is when I leave. COVID, I'm out. I
Correct.
think towards the end of 2020. Now, one thing is that before all this, I had worked for a campaign in 2018, 2019 towards the elections, that cycle, just in my free time.
Definitely.
I was doing policy research and policy development.
For whom? Say Baba. Carry on. Sorry, I don't want.
Hell no.
No, carry on.
For Atiku. I did not work for Buhari. No, I work for Atiku. I work for the Atiku team.
Yeah.
And I remember then, like, I didn't necessarily like believe in him or anything. Like, I had just landed in the country, and somebody was like, "Oh, they need a policy researcher." I was like, "I do policy research. Like, let's go." I remember being super impressed by the team, and I was on a team with a lot of young, brilliant people. One of the people on the team was GRV. Fun fact. Yeah. The team was a lot of brilliant people, and I remember just also being surprised that, like, from my perception of Atiku, I just did not expect him to have like thinkers in the back, like drawing up these things. And I don't know why, but I just didn't think that. I kind of like these politicians just politicking. I was super surprised that there were working groups for agriculture with like small business owners, with farmers. I met people from all over the country. I met like professors from universities. Like I met people who I worked in like diplomacy and the central bank like before I was born. It was an incredible experience. No, genuinely, like, well, like it was super incredible. And I just remember then just like, because I was like, okay, yeah, Atiku, whatever. Like I didn't care.
At the time,
I genuinely didn't. Like I genuinely didn't. I didn't necessarily know or rate him as a politician. I only knew things I heard about him as a politician. But being on the team made me so excited. And I was like, I just didn't know Nigerian politicians cared about research or data points. Like, I was like, wow. Like, except it's like voting. Like, you're telling me that these people, someone is trying to get raw data on agriculture. Really? Paying for it? What? I did not expect that. So I was awash with that. But then after I quit law. I'm running my company, kind of trying to figure out myself. And I become like I become a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. I'm still doing law on the side because I'm still doing like legal work for people here and there, money here and there, but not necessarily sure what I want to do. And then I knew elections were coming up 2023. So I knew by like 2022, I would have something to do in this space because I knew I was going to go back and do what I did in 2019. I enjoyed it. I didn't know who I would be doing it for. Like, mind you, it's so funny to look back because I mean, back then, like Peter Obi was on that team, on the senior team, because he was the VP candidate, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you now look back to what 2022, 2023 was crazy.
So fun, right?
Oh, the best of times. But so in that space, how I landed on Untold Stories is basically the Dirty Light podcast. It's basically TMT. I would just be, the group chat I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So sometimes they would wake up to 20 messages from me. And I'll be talking about something very random that happened in like 1942. And they're like, okay. And TMT just normally would engage me. I'll give him
as
that.
He does. He does.
Like sometimes he finds it interesting. Sometimes he's just being nice. And sometimes he's like, Des, did you sleep? But that's what was going on. I had a lot of time and I was just talking to my friends about these things. And TMT came up to me and he's like, there is an audience for it. Not here, but somewhere outside. So we start the Dirty Light podcast. And I loved it so much. And then in the process of doing the podcast, I bought my own recording equipment. And then when election season started coming and I started getting pulled on these teams again, I started being like, first thing actually that came to my mind is like, I think I wanted to be a documentarian, but also a historian. But I was just like, we don't document our history and we don't document things. So I started by just I'm like, I want to talk to people about today. campaign in Enugu today or Lagos today or this happened today, and I want to talk to people about it on the record. Like, not news, not anything. Like, it's just not documented. Like, there's no, the camera here is for social media. Like, there's no actual, like, historical record of a very historical election for us, right? And so that's what I started doing. And I would harass certain people to get them to talk to me. Some were nicer than others.
I can imagine.
Then one day, a bunch of them agreed. Osita Chidoka and Dino Melai agreed the same day. I did it the same day there.
I love that Dino interview. Oh my God. I also love the one, I think it was with Fayoshe, if I'm mistaken. The great guy. I was even clowning him the other day about the neck brace and if anything. But anyways, that's not what we're doing here.
He's seriously injured, you know.
Hey, listen.
He's seriously injured. They actually injured him.
My hands are
when he sat down for that interview, I felt so bad because like he's actually injured. And he has had spinal cord surgery, I think.
He did mention a couple of times that
you can't. I mean, there's a way politicians present, right? You need to present. When I walked in, I could see how he was in physical pain. He's actually injured.
That is legit, and that's confirmed by Adesuwa, guys. Fire, she wasn't fucking with us. He was actually hurt.
I'm only with that far. In terms of his injury and the injury sustained, 1000%, and it must have been painful. I'm not going to say that he did not do certain things for the camera, but his injuries are like severe. And you know, the thing is, like, when you're injured seriously, especially if it's like your back or your neck at a mature age, like it just was healing really like. Do you know what I'm saying?
It must have been a very complicated recovery process.
Yeah, so he's still in it. I mean, when I saw him last, this is over a year now, but he was still definitely trying to recover. But yes, so that's how I ended up with Untold Stories. After doing audio for a while, I was like, let's rock with video.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. And
I kid you not.
Yeah.
That one, I watched the one with our great governor. I watched that one as well. I watched your Obasanjo one. Like I said, I promise, I kid you not. I am I don't want to talk too much.
Thank you.
I get into the detail of the things that you get up to. Untold Stories, sort of, and again, in my opinion, it moved quite quickly, right? And it came at a great time, especially with the elections and electoral season and how everything was sort of, like I said, it worked quite nicely for you, right? So when you were right, like I said, the timing was very, very apt, and you sort of unraveled quite greatly. And your guests, they're giving us things, and I mean, I can't lie, this guy gave us more. I wish our great governor gave us more, but you can't really push it too much, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of them really, really great stuff, and stuff that you probably had never heard anywhere, because a lot of the time these guys will bar fire shisha, because whenever it comes, he's always giving us bombs. Anytime he comes on camera, it gives us a headache. Outside the square trivia, we're going to hit it really, really quickly. First question: 2 countries that share the longest international border.
Longest international border should be Russia and the US, but I might be wrong. It might be China and Russia or something. Longest international border, I don't remember geography. What's the longest international border? Where is it?
Canada and the USA.
Oh fuck, I should have known that. I saw that on TikTok recently, actually. So I know why Russia and US was my head. Yeah.
Second question. Zuma Rock is on which Naira note?
Sir, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work.
Okay, guess.
I don't even know when last I saw a Naira note.
Energy. I love that.
Energy now. Well, where do you find money these days?
You're cashless now. You're cashless. That's what I'm saying. Energy.
No, it's not energy. I'm going through hard times. Help me out, actually. Is it like a small note? Is it a big note?
It's a small note. It's a small note.
I'm going to say 20.
Okay, not that small.
200?
Close. It's 100 naira. 100 naira.
Okay.
Okay, what connects muscles with bones?
I'm going to get zero. This is ligaments.
No, you're close. The other one that everybody knows.
You've asked me science, geography. I don't know where you ever thought this was my strong point. I'm not starting to feel.
I thought you would
I'm starting to feel how people feel when they come to the Death Star podcast and I ask them stupid shit about Russia in the 15th century. Because
first of all, we love what you ask them, so please keep on keeping on. Thank you very much.
Muscle to bone is not ligament.
No,
it's
the
tendons?
other one. Yes. There you go.
Thank God.
Tendon. Colors on what colors make up the South African flag? Are we celebrating because you know it, or you're celebrating because I don't know? What are we? I can hear typing. Are you some kind of Ojoro?
No, okay, let me tell you something. This is the thing about South African flag. South Africa, I love South Africa. South Africa wanted everything and everybody to belong. So they have all the colors that you need. They have yellow and green.
Yellow and green.
Yellow and green. They have red.
Yes.
They have white.
Yes.
And they have black.
One more.
Yellow, green, red, white, black. There's one more.
Yes.
Bafana. What's left? Do they also have blue?
Yes. There's a blue. There's a blue. There's a blue.
Oh my God.
There's a blue.
They are thirsty
for the colors.
South Africa was really born like 20 years ago. They joined everybody.
Yeah. They just wanted to keep everybody being
the
inclusive.
Blacks, the whites, the Africans.
To feel included.
Everybody. Yeah, they have every color you need on it.
Thank you guys. Have a lovely day. We appreciate you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.